Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya.
So can I start with telling my story first?
Okay, who wants to start? Okay, Anvi, let's start with Anvi. I'll call out the names. I will quickly do it, then we'll discuss something else for today's session. Yes, Anvi.
Yes, sir. Just give me. So, my story is called, the story that I'm going to recite is called The Story of Creation.
Okay.
Before the world was created, all that existed was the self alone. And the story of creation is from the Aitareya Upanishad.
Maitreya Upanishad, yes. Okay.
Nothing else was, nothing whatsoever stirred. Then the self thought, let me create the worlds. He brought forth the following worlds out of himself. Ambas, the highest world, above the sky and upheld by it. Marichi, the sky, and Mara, the mortal world, the earth, and Apa, the world beneath the earth. Ambas is the highest world. It lies beyond the material realm. Marichi is a space itself in which many suns and planets are to be found. Mara is not just a planet world, but any planet on which sentient beings live. Mara means death, and it is applied to the planets because all beings that live there are mortal. Apa is the name of the submaterial regions from which atomic matter rises. Sir, can I just tell you another short story because I have
quickly, okay. Yes.
So this story is called Satya Kama, the Seeker of Truth. This is from Chandogya Upanishad. Okay. One day, a young boy came to the ashram of sage Haridrumata Gautama and said, Revered sir, I desire to live under you as a brahmacharin. Please accept me as your student. The sage asked, Dear boy, of what gotra or lineage are you? The boy replied, Sir, I do not know of what gotra I am. I asked it of my mother. She said, I also don't know of what gotra you are. I used to serve many people and I got you in my youth. So I'm not sure of what lineage you are. However, I am Jabala by name and you are Satyakama. So, sir, I reveal myself to you as Satyakama Jabala. On hearing it, the Rishi Gautama smiled and said, No one who is not a Brahmin can speak thus. Dear boy, bring the sacrificial fuel. I shall initiate you as a brahmacharin, for you have not deviated from truth. Thus was Satyakama Jabala initiated into a life of a brahmachari.
Okay, great. Thank you. Who is next? Thank you, Anvi. Raise your hand so that I know. Avishi, you? Avishi has done the homework this time. Avishi. Okay, Ramana, you can speak. Radhya, you will do? Okay. Which story you want to share?
So can I have a chance, please?
Who is this?
Aradhya.
Okay, after Aradhya. After Aradhya, we'll let Aradhya speak. Radhya, speak.
So once upon a time, I started my video already, sir. So once upon a time, Kaushalya was going to pray to Lord Vishnu. She put Rama on the cradle and went and prayed to him. There, she suddenly saw Rama
crawling in the puja room. But she just put Rama in the cradle, right? How did he get here so fast? She went back to the cradle to check on him. And he was there, sleeping soundly. She went back to the puja room and found him there too, eating all the laddus and sweets. She was very shocked. Are there two Ramas or is she going crazy? Then, when she went back again for one of the last times, she saw Rama sleeping in the cradle again. Her head dizzy with thought, she went back to the puja room and saw Rama again there. But this time, all kinds of universes, galaxies, planets, and all kinds of other things she had never heard of was there on his skin. Every single pore of the universe and every single inch was there. Suddenly, she realized who he was. Her son, her little son, whom she thought as nobody else as a son, was actually the great Lord Vishnu. She asked the Lord, "Oh great Lord, please make me forget the sight I had just seen."
Great, wonderful. Thank you. Radhya, you will do?
Huh? Yes, sir?
No, not Aradhya. There is a girl called Radhya, Radhya. I'm asking her.
But now, but sir, I'm Aradhya.
And there is one more girl, Radhya. You are Aradhya. You have Aradhya. She is Radhya. Radhya, you will speak? Radhya Bansal.
My story is from the Mahabharata. It's
Okay.
the story of Arjun and the bird's eye test. So one day when the Kauravas and the Pandavas were given an archery test by their Guru Dronacharya, they were asked to aim at the eye of a toy bird on the branch of a tree. When the teacher asked the other students what they saw, some of them said that they can see trees, some of them said they can see the sky, but only Arjun said that he can see the black hole of the eye of the bird. When he shot the arrow on the bird, he successfully reached the target. The moral of the story is that if you be focused and listen to your guru, you'll always succeed.
Very nice, very nice. We have to be focused to succeed. Okay. Prasmita?
Yes, sir. My story's title is Story of Maya. In one of the reads of the Vishnu Puran, Vishnu, accompanied by the divine sage Narada, stopping at one point in the course of their wandering and asking Narada to fetch him some water from a nearby village. While he waits at the edge of the forest, Narada goes to the village, knocks at the door, and falls in love with the young woman who answers and marries her, founds a family, and lives happily with the wife and children for years until a flood comes and inundates the village, sweeping everything before it. Narada too is washed away by the flood and is thrown perchance at exactly the point where he parted company with Vishnu. As he lands there, he is greeted by Vishnu, who asks him for the water that he had gone to fetch. Narada, who is still worried about his family, does not understand. Vishnu smiles and said, "I thought you had the full knowledge of Maya before you set out to fetch water for me. Thank you."
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this story teaches how Lord Vishnu is supreme, and without his grace, we can all get bewildered, even if we are as great as Narad Muni. Yes, Shivya.
Excuse me, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, this is Shaurya Agrawal, and actually, sir, I was absent last class. So, so can you just tell so we have to tell short stories of
No,
mythology.
it was a homework. Don't worry about it. If you were absent, I just asked them to do some research and come up with a story or two from the scriptures. So don't worry. Shivya?
Sir, actually, I watched the recording, so I have a story. So can I tell?
So I'll come back to you. Let's just Shivya and
So shall I
Ramya.
start?
Yeah, Shivya. Yes.
Ramayana is a holy book and one of the greatest epics written by sage Valmiki. It is a Hindu scripture composed in the form of a poem in Sanskrit. It is a story of the win of good over evil and helps us to understand the true meaning of devotion, courage, and bravery. My story is how the demon king Ravan got 10 heads. The demon king Ravan was worshipping Lord Shiva. He was worshipping the god because he wanted 10 heads and superior powers. He had chopped off his 10 heads as a sacrifice to the Lord. Each time he sliced off his head, a new head arose. Then one day, finally, this dedication of Ravan pleased Lord Shiva, and he granted him 10 heads and many powers. The moral of the story is that if we do something with devotion to God, then He will give us what we desire.
Okay, good. Who helped you, Shivya, this time?
Radhari, finally.
Okay, she stopped being mean to you. Okay. Ramana, I wanted to speak, then Shaurya. And if somebody else wants to, you're more than welcome. Then we can start today's session. Yes, Ramana, you are there?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
speak.
Once upon a time, the Devas began to feel that the whole world was theirs, so a Yaksha went to challenge them. The Devas sent Agni, the energy of the fire element, to the challenge and to see who this Yaksha was. Agni said, I can burn anything, I can transform anything. So the Yaksha threw a blade of grass in front of Agnianand, challenged Agni to burn it, to transform it. However, Agni could not do anything. Agni affirmed again, I am Agni, I am Chaturveda, I am somebody. That particular divine energy limited itself to be somebody, some particular energy. So what happened? Its power got diminished. It did not identify itself with Brahman, with the cosmic energy, but considered itself as a particular type of energy, a particular individual. It limited its power and capacity. Agni went back to the other devas defeated, so they sent Vayu, the atmosphere, but even the wind was not able to lift the blade of grass. Then Indra, the lord of mind, the lord of all the devas, was sent. A yaksha could not be seen through the skin or touch. The previous two devas could not find out who this yaksha was, but Indra went close to the yaksha, who transformed himself into the beautiful divine mother. Indra's consciousness came to the Kundalini spirit, the mother divine energy. The Devi, the mother divine energy, is a symbol of compassion, of submission, of sensitivity, of beauty. The Lord of the mind surrendered to the mother divine. She reminded him that the victory of Brahman is the victory of everything. Only then did the Lord of the mind, when enamored by the divine, discovered who the Yaksha was and what truth is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Shaurya?
So
One more.
this is Shaurya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just 1 second. Okay. A Kavla, a tribal boy, was refused to be taken as a disciple to learn archery by Guru Dronacharya, who taught only the Kshatriyas and Brahmins. Undeterred, he kept a clay image of Dronacharya before him and practiced archery, becoming very proficient in it. Once disturbed by the barking of a dog, he shot arrows in its mouth to shut it up without hurting it. When this feat came into notice of Arjun, he was upset that there was a better archer than he was. Not wanting to have a rival archer against Arjun and observing that Eklavya had his image as the teacher, Dronacharya asked him for Guru Dakshina, the offering to be made to the teacher. On being asked what he could offer, Dronacharya asked for his right thumb, knowing well that without the thumb he could not shoot. Without hesitation, Eklavya cut his thumb with a knife and placed it at the Guru's feet. With his deed, he immortalized himself as the epitome of an ideal student.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else? Veda, Ananya?
Prabhuji, I've joined from another device. Can I send it to you after the class gets over on your chat?
All right. No issues. Okay. So you all got these stories from where? Internet, right? Google?
Yeah.
I haven't, sir. I read it from a book, sir. I have the 7 cons.
Is it Aradhya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ठीक है.
My mama.
So, see, one important thing we all need to understand is we already discussed how scriptures are the most perfect source of knowledge. Hmm.
Excuse me, sir. I was absent last class, so I don't know what you mean by scripture. Something.
You could hear the recording, please.
Thank you.
Yes, Shibya, you wanted to say something?
Please, can you show us the magic without us learning the verse?
Let's complete today's session first.
Then will you show?
Whenever your mother tells me, I'll do that. She has to.
Please, I'm begging you.
She has to instruct. Okay, let's start. So the point I was making, which we all need to remember as we grow up also, that getting our information from internet, Google, Wikipedia, it may not be the most authentic source of information. So always referring to scriptures, because anybody can write anything. As I was listening to all your stories, yes, some of them were very interesting. Some of them had some details which might just confuse you. So very soon I'll be sending all of you certain books. Probably this week you can start studying those books with the right information. So today I thought I will be discussing, since Anvi began with a story on the creation, how the creation happens. So Anvi, what did you understand from that? Did you understand everything or something, how the creation happened, the self and all?
I understood that God created a different worlds. Like one was like the supreme world, the most powerful one, the most important one, which was above the sky. One was like the sky basically, and one was the earth where we all live, and one was inferior to the earth, like under the earth, where all the like maybe under people, like people of the underworld live.
Understood. Very nice. You thoroughly understood it. Good. You didn't get confused. So I'm going to be speaking about a little bit, and also the concept of avatars. Since we have already discussed about the existence of God. So what do you mean by the word avatar?
Incarnation.
Okay. Avatar means one who descends. Just like a plane. You might not be able to see the plane, but suddenly it lands in front of you. Do you ever say, oh, the plane is born? No, we say plane has just landed. That means plane was existing somewhere and it has just appeared now in front of our vision and it just landed. So the avatar means something like that. The Lord is existing somewhere and he just lands into this world. So therefore, we sometimes do not use the word birth for God. We use the word appear and disappears. He appears and disappears. He appears in front of our vision.
You can also say descend and ascend.
Yes, ascend and descend. Correct. And how many avatars are there? Anyone knows? You can raise your hand.
Avatars are their meaning?
Pardon?
Of Vishnu.
Yeah, so I'll come back to, so you know about avatars, God's incarnation. So how many incarnations are there? Yes, Shaurya?
Sir, I think there are 2 incarnations of Vishnu.
2. Okay, who else would like to answer? Guess. Radhya Bansal.
Vishnu has 10 avatars.
10 avatars, okay. Yes, Shibya. Anvi.
Yeah, Vishnu has 10 avatars.
10 avatars. Veda.
Prabhuji, I think everyone's right. It's 10 avatars.
Okay.
I think he has many avatars, hundreds of avatars.
So I think there are hundreds and millions of avatars, because like including all the other gods like Brahma and that Agni and Indra, everyone. Shiva.
Okay. Great. ठीक है. So,
Ma'am, can I
Hanji,
a short?
pardon?
Can I tell you a short, very short story?
Who is this?
Aradhya, sir.
Aradhya, can we just have you tell the story at the end? We'll have everybody else also who wants to speak.
Yes, sir. Even I want to.
Okay. So there are countless avatars. There are unlimited avatars. If you want to count the number of avatars, count the number of waves in the ocean. Can you do that? Can you count the number of waves in the ocean? So there are countless avatars. So prominently, yes, there are 10. Can you all name them? One by one.
Kamsa avatar, Kalki avatar, which is about to come soon.
Kalki, okay. Kalki is one of the 10. Who else?
Krishna.
Rama.
Rama is one. Yes.
Parshurama.
Parshurama is one.
Kamsa avatar.
Not Kansa.
Varaha.
Varaha is one.
Vamana.
No Googling, Anvi.
I'm not doing anything.
Matsya.
Matsya.
Kalki.
Kalki.
I know this because in my dance class we know.
Okay. There is Kalki, Ram, you all said. There is Varaha, there is Vamana, there is Matsya. 5 more.
Tortoise.
Tortoise is Kashyap. Yes.
Ah.
Kashyap. Okay. 7. 3 more. Let's do it.
I think I know one. Is it Kurma?
Kurma. Yes, Kurma. Kashyap is one.
Narasimha.
Vamana.
Vaman is done. Varaha is done. Narsingha.
Narsingha.
Guruji, you had mentioned this one, but it starts with P, but I can't remember it.
Narsingha. Then Balaram.
Balram.
Buddha is one.
Buddha.
Lord
I
Buddha.
said that.
Buddha.
So that's why we are referring to now Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the most authentic source of information. Most of the people think, I would say 99% of the people think that, yes, all the avatars do come from Vishnu because he's in charge of the maintenance of the universe. Who is in charge of the creation?
Brahma.
Brahma. Who is in charge of the destruction?
Shiva.
Shiva. And Vishnu himself, because he's the Supreme Lord.
So he's a protector.
So he is the maintainer. He maintains, because maintenance is always the most difficult part, right? So most of the people think that Krishna is also one of the avatars, isn't it? And most people think that Krishna comes from Vishnu. But if you see the Bhagavad, even I used to think like that before I started studying. So there are 10 avatars: Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsingha, Parshuram, Ram, Balaram, Buddha,
Vamana.
Kalki, Narsingha. Okay, 10. So Krishna, so Bhagavad gives the list of various incarnations. Bhagavad talks about 24, others also. And then in the end, we'll learn that verse, which talks about how Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So what happens is, I'll show you a picture now on the screen of the creation. So this will give you an idea about how our entire creation looks like, which Anvi mentioned in the beginning. And that will give us some idea where we are and what this creation is all about. And that will also answer the question related to the avatars.
Prabhuji, did you all mention drama as one of
Yes, we did. So now just have a look at this. I'll zoom in. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is the entire creation based on Srimad Bhagavad. And there are countless universes, and so our universe is one of them, and each universe has like many planets. So let's just do. So as Anvi was mentioning, one part is the spiritual world. So you see this Brahma Jyoti, above that is the spiritual sky, and below that is the world we are living in. There are countless universes. Yes, Anvi, what is
Sir,
the
I
question?
have a question. It's not related to Vishnu, it's related to Shiva.
Hmm.
And so I was just wanted to ask, Shiva lives in that Kailash mountain.
Hmm.
Kailash mountain is in earth, but Shiva is like among the three supreme gods. So why does he live on earth?
Yes, so
Why
I'll come
doesn't
to
he
that.
live?
I'll come to that point. Can you see this above Brahma Jyoti? There is a mountain, a little mountain, Kailash.
Oh, that's Kailash.
Yes. Yes. And then there are other universes. Now I'll just zoom in to one of these, and this will explain the concept of avatars as well as everything else. Now this part is where the Lord resides, the spiritual sky. And you can see Lakshmi, Narayan, and all the other incarnations of the Lord. This is called Vaikuntha. So whenever there is a need, the incarnations of the Lord, they descend, they come down from this world, and then they go back also. And above that, of course, there is a topmost planet where Krishna and Radharani are living, which is shaped like a lotus.
So Krishna and Radha live above Vaikuntha.
Yes, yes. It is way above the Vaikuntha. And below that, the Ram and Sita expansion of the Lord, they also live. So this is Ayodhya. You can see now.
So I'm
Yes.
Shivya. I can't see your screen. I can only see something black.
Can others see?
So my grandma went to Ayodhya and saw the birthplace of Rama and his temple.
Okay. So can others see the screen?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Shivya, maybe just log out and log in again. You might be able to do that.
let's.
So anyways, so this is the spiritual sky.
How can I join it from another device? Because for some reason I'm not being able to leave.
Yeah, ठीक है. You can sit with Radhya or some Avishi.
No thanks.
Okay, so but you should not miss this. This is interesting. So this is the spiritual sky, and we have different avatars of the Lord. So it is explained in the Bhagavatam. Krishna is the source of all avatars, including that of Vishnu. And for your information, there is, how many Vishnus do you think we have?
One.
No, there are, I think, Vishnus in different universes.
Yes, so there are 2 Vishnus in each universe.
Huh?
How are there 2 Vishnus in each universe? One.
I'll
There's only one universe in the world.
explain. We are discussing based
How
on
many universes are there in the world? I thought there's only one.
Many.
There are many.
Scriptures say there are many.
There are many. So, so this is, you can see there are these bubbles in the ocean. They are the different universes. There are many universes. We all have like a very limited information, but the scriptures talk about information which goes beyond what we can perceive. We are like frogs in the well.
But
You
sir,
know the,
the main.
you know the story of frog in the well?
Yes.
No, sir.
Knows.
So I have a question.
No, wait. We'll take your questions in the end. Anybody knows the story of the frog in the well?
I'm just guessing the frog is stuck in the well and it does something to get out of it.
Okay. So we are all like the frogs in the well. So there was a frog living in a well. And one fine day, his friend, another frog who had visited the ocean, returned, and he said, "Where were you?" He said, "I had gone to see the ocean." He said, "How is the ocean like?" He said, "It's a huge, vast body of water." So the frog living in the well, he said, "Is it as big as this well?" And the other frog said, "No, Baba, it is much bigger." And the frog living in the well said, "Is it twice the size of the well?" So the frog that had come from the ocean said, No, it's much bigger. Is it 4 times the size of the well? Is it 6 times, 8 times, is it 10 times the size of the well? And the frog just smiled. He said, no, no, you can't imagine how big the ocean is. So then this frog living inside the well said, impossible. It's not possible only. How can there be something which is even bigger than 10 times the size of the well? So most of us behave like that. Because we can't perceive something, we think this cannot happen, this cannot exist. Like you all are living in Kolkata. And have you all seen each and every lane of Kolkata? Some of you who live in Kolkata or whatever city you're living in. Have you all seen each and every person living in the world?
No.
But does that mean they don't exist? Just because we have not seen, we have not...
No, sir.
Hmm.
No, sir. They still exist even though we haven't
Exactly.
seen them.
Even though, so that's why the scriptures talk about the creation from the ultimate perspective. They have greater information. So they talk, even the scientists do accept now they said there could be many universes. And there are many planets. We have discovered a few, and every now and then we keep discovering. So
We
this,
keep discovering new planets, sir.
pardon?
We keep discovering new planets every minute, sir.
Yeah. So this is the zoomed in picture of one universe. Let's focus on this. Now somebody was asking, how come there are two Vishnus? So there is one Vishnu, which is, so this is the image of the creation, the entire creation. And you see in the middle, just below Brahma Jyoti, there is this Lord Vishnu lying down, and from his body many universes are coming out. And initially scientists thought it's a Big Bang theory, or the universal creation has happened just by chance. But now they have come up with another theory. I forgot the name. I'll find it out. That universes are actually coming from a whole which expands and contracts. So the scriptures explain when Lord Mahavishnu, which is one of the expansions of the Lord, he exhales, the universes come out like bubbles from his bodily pores. When he inhales, the universes go inside. And so this Mahavishnu, when he creates the universes, then he again expands himself into another form of Vishnu. Like we can't expand, but the Lord can have many expansions, many incarnations. So you see there is this Vishnu lying down at the bottom of the universe. And from his navel, a lotus flower comes out, and on which Lord Brahma is born. And then this Vishnu, who gives birth to Brahma, expands himself into another form. And you can see here next to Durga Devi, another Vishnu sitting. And he's the Vishnu who lies down in a milk ocean, as we have seen in TV serials also. And it is this Vishnu, the third one, who is in charge of the maintenance of the universe. And whenever there is a need, he incarnates into this world.
Where is the third Vishnu? I can't see the third one.
Third one is right on the right side of Durga Devi.
No, there is one Vishnu who gave birth to Brahma, and there is one on the side of Durga.
So the one which I just showed you, who creates the universes, this one, who is outside the universe, he's creating, and he lies down.
Sir, is this our Vishnu?
Yes. So he lies down in the border between our world and the spiritual world. As you can see, below Brahma Jyoti, there is one Vishnu lying, and then within the universe, there are two. So as many universes, each universe will have two Vishnus. So that's why I said we have to get the information from the scriptures.
So each universe will have one Brahma also.
Yes, each universe has one Brahma, and each universe has a particular set of devatas. So this, as Anvi mentioned in the beginning, so there are within the material this universe, our Earth is in the middle, as it is written Bhurloka. Then above are the planets of the other living entities like the Devas. Even the demons live in a place called Bhurloka. And below also there are 7 planets. They are called Patala. lower planets, lower planetary systems.
So which planet is like hell?
Hell is, it comes down, it is on the southern side of, as you can see, on the right side, the southern side. The
Southern side.
Patal, as you can see, the lowest Patal.
The hellish planet.
Hellish
The
planet.
hellish planets.
It is written over there.
Yeah, the Patala is where the Asuras live.
Yeah. So this is the understanding of the creation. So there are.
What do you mean by the hellish planet?
Hellish planets is like jail where the criminals are punished. So whatever we do, if we do good deeds, we go to the higher planets where the devas live, and there are nice facilities to stay. And if we do wrong deeds, we go to the hellish planets where the soul is punished.
So the planet
After
of like ghosts and like the demons is above Earth, like above our planet.
I think it's below.
Yeah, it is there. They are in one sense, in terms of power and mystic power, they are superior. So they have their planet, but it's below the heavens, and always there is a war going on, and they are always there to take over the heavens, and there are so many stories about that.
Yeah.
So avatar simply means, I'll just summarize, somebody who descends, and we discussed there are 10 avatars primarily, but if you start counting, there are countless avatars, and they live in the spiritual part of the creation, and whenever there is a need, they just come down. And it is this Vishnu who is within the universe, who basically planned. Just a second, just let me complete. So it is Lord Vishnu, the third one, who is in charge of the maintenance of the universe. And whenever any incarnation comes, it comes through this Vishnu, right? So everyone thinks, so even when Krishna appears, and Krishna comes only once in lakhs and lakhs of years. Other times the incarnations come, but when Krishna comes, the announcement and everything is made by this Vishnu only, the third one. And if you read Bhagavad, where when the devas go to him and they are requesting that, please come and help us, and Lord Vishnu says, if you read Bhagavad, this time the Supreme Lord Krishna is personally going to appear as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, so do not worry. So Krishna comes once in a while, but when he comes, the announcement and everything is made by Lord Vishnu only. So that's why sometimes people think Krishna is also coming from Vishnu, but he's not counted among the 10 avatars. He's the source of avatars. He's the avatari. So our information should be based on Shastra. That's when we get it right. Yes, somebody was asking something.
Aradhya, sir.
Yes, Aradhya, what is your...
Sir, I've always had this question ever since I was young. So my book says that Indra is elder than Vishnu, but my family says that Vishnu is elder than Indra. I don't know who is elder, sir. Who is elder?
Vishnu. Indra is a deva,
yes,
right?
Sir. They say that Indra is also the king of gods, sir.
Indra
is the king of devas.
He's not the king of gods. He's the king of the demigods, the devatas. So,
but sir, is like Indra the older brother of Vishnu?
Okay, so you know the Vaman avatar?
Yes, sir, totally.
So in that avatar, the Lord appeared as the son of a lady called Aditi.
Yes, sir.
And she happens to be the mother of the Devas.
Yeah.
So in that sense, Lord Vaman or Lord Vishnu is the younger brother of Indra, but that doesn't mean that he's inferior to Indra. He's just appearing for an avatar and then he goes back.
But sir, really, when he's not an avatar, is he elder than?
Of course, he's greater than the greatest. He's greater than in Shiva and Brahma also. He's the boss.
Sir, they say that Vishnu is the protector, Shiva is the destroyer, and Brahma the creator.
True. So they are there. And I'm going to teach you this verse which talks about how Krishna being the source of all incarnations. Then we'll carry on with the discussion. Who would like to recite this? This will be the verse for the week.
Aradhya, please, sir.
Okay. Raise your hand, Radhya. One by one, we can all try.
Can I please recite?
Okay, repeat after me. Ete
Ete
Shamsha
Samsa
Kalaha
Karaha
Pumsaha
Pumsaha
Krishnas
Krishnas
Tu
Tu
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Swayam
Swayam
Indrari
Indrari
Vyakulam
Vyakulam
Lokam
Lokam
Mridayanti
Vidayanti
Yuge Yuge.
Yuge Yuge.
Now, first we'll read the meaning, and then with the meaning.
Can I say the meaning?
Who is yes, Anvi? Please do that.
All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Shri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets wherever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists.
Understood?
I don't understand atheists and theists.
Atheists are the non-believers, those who do not have faith and who try to trouble those who have faith in the Lord. Like the devas are always being troubled by the demons, and the good people being troubled by the bad. You can understand it that way. Okay. Now let's recite the verse. Ete chamsah kalah pumsah. Who was doing that? Aradhya, you were doing that, right?
Which, sir?
You were reciting the verse with me?
Yes, sir. I was retaining the ete kamsa khala.
Okay. Okay, repeat. Ete chamsa kalah pumsah.
Ete chamsa khala pumsa.
Others also please recite, but with your mics off. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Indrari Vyakulam Lokam.
Indrari Vyakulam Lokam.
Mridayanti Yuge Yuge.
Mridayanti Yuge Yuge.
So what this verse is saying is what we discussed today, verifying that it gives a list of, Bhagavad gives a list of various incarnations, and this verse says, Vyasadeva writes, because ultimately all the scriptures are written by Vyasadeva, his opinion has to be taken as the best. And he says all these incarnations that are mentioned, they are expansions or expansions of the Supreme Lord. But Krishna is the original Supreme Personality, original God. He's the source of all incarnations.
Sir, I have a question.
Let's just complete the verse first. We'll take up your questions in the end. Yes, you can keep your questions ready after the verse. Who else would like to recite? Okay, Ananya. Yes.
You
You can repeat after me. Ete chamsha kalah pumsah.
Ete chamsa kala pumsa.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Indrari Vyakulam Lokam.
Indrari Vyakalam Lokam.
Mridayanti Yuge Yuge.
Hridayanti Yuge Yuge.
Few more children who can recite. Let's just get used to the recitation. It will be easier for you to memorize then. Shivya, let's do.
Can I leave the meeting? I have a class, another class.
Okay, yes. We are just ending in 2-3 minutes now. Who else? One more person? Okay, so the homework is, before anybody leaves, the homework is any two incarnations of the Lord. So I'll give you that liberty. Either you can draw and color, or you can even take an outline print from Google. You can easily find it on Google and color that. Easy and interesting.
If you speak about them, that will be much more fun.
Yes, we will do that also. So whoever you are Okay, let's just not do two. There are 10 incarnations. You can do one, draw, color, and you can be ready with a story about them.
Okay, sir.
Whoever you are.
Stories.
Prabhuji, could you scroll up a bit because I can only see like the translation, not the.
Okay, now,
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
so you all can even take the outline black and white pictures you can get from the internet and color and even write about that particular incarnation of the Lord.
Yeah.
And so that will be the homework for this week. And memorize this verse, please. Hope everybody is up to date with the verses. It's very
Yes.
important. If you miss out even on one, you will be lagging behind. So keep memorizing one verse every week.
I won't.
Now I want to ask any of
Magic.
you any questions, any comments.
So we had to. I think two of us had to tell you some stories or
Okay,
something.
but are you all
So I'm the one.
understanding the sessions?
Yes, sir. But
Yes,
it's
sir.
one question.
Enjoying?
Something
Excuse me,
is not-
Prabhuji.
Yes, Arvika.
Prabhuji, can you please add me to the WhatsApp group? I'm not in it.
You can ask your mother to send me your number. I'll add.
No, Prabhuji, you can add my
Please
mother's number
start the
only.
magic right now. Please, sir.
If
show
yeah,
the magic.
yeah, you can leave, of course.
Can't you to show the magic?
Yes, sir.
You had another class, right?
No, sir. I
No,
don't.
sir. We can wait.
I had another class.
Please, can I ask you a question?
Whoever wants to leave, please, you are most welcome. Class is over. And now, if somebody wants to chill with me, you are most welcome to stay
The
back.
stories we had to tell you.
Anvi and Aradhya had to tell us stories. Yes, Anvi.
Sir, Aradhya can go first.
Okay, Aradhya, you can tell us.
Thank you,
your
Anvi.
story.
So is that
Magic stick first.
Shivya, I'll do that once your mother tells me. Ask your mother ek bar.
Please, sir.
sir?
Radhya is saying no, so I can't.
Yes,
Radhya,
sir. Please, sir.
I
Please, sir.
didn't
Please. No.
I didn't tell anything.
okay, Anvi, tell us the
Sir,
story.
Aradhya was saying.
Aradhya, yes.
Thank you, Anvi. Sir, I first have a question, then I'll tell you my story.
Yes.
So who's more superior, Gautama, Varshita, or Agastya? Sorry, Vishwakarma, Agastya, or who else was there? Yeah, Gautama. Gautama.
See, Gautama, Agastya, they are all powerful in their own areas. And Vishwakarma happens to be the architect of the Devas. So Vishwakarma is one of the Devas. You can say he's not a rishi. So when it comes to powers, the rishis are more powerful. And if you go by the stories, Agastya was extremely powerful in the sense, or Agastya exhibited his powers because he destroyed many demons physically. So I'll tell you an interesting story about Rishi Agastya. So there were two demons of the name Ilvala and Vatapi.
See, that's what I wanted to tell, sir. That was the story I wanted to tell.
Okay, you can tell. All right.
Sir, Ilvala was the story of the demon and the shapeshifter, right?
Yeah, those who would kill Brahmanas, one would become.
No, that one, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
You
once
tell.
upon a time, Kachap, what was that man's name again? I
I
forgot.
don't know the name. Ilvala and Vatapi, and then the story revolves around these two and Agastya.
Yes, sir, Vatapi. So once upon a time, there were two brothers, Ilvala and Vatapi. Sir, Ilvala used to always had a power. He could shapeshift into a goat or any creature he wanted. This way, Ilvala and Vatapi could get many Brahmins to come. Then once he used to invite Brahmins to dinner. Then he'll cook Ilvala,
Vatapi
and put him in a pot.
Hmm.
And there was another boon also that Vatapi had. Even if he was cut into pieces, he would never die. He cut him up. He shapeshifted into a goat, and then he cut him up. After that, they fed him. They fed the goat to the Brahmins. They fed Vatapi to the Brahmins, and the Brahmins ate it happily. Then suddenly, then Ilbala would say, "Vatapi, come on out." Vatapi would, all pieces of him would just burst out of the Brahmin's stomach, leaving them dead, and they'd feast on the Brahmins. This
Yes.
continued for many days. One day they invited Agastya himself, and they asked. Then they cooked. The plan went so good so far. After he had eaten Vatapi, he then shouted, "Vatapi, come out!" Agastya told, "He can't come out. I digested him already." He was shocked and angry. "What have you done to my brother?" And he tried to kill Agastya. Agastya got angry, and he burned him into a pile of ashes.
Yes. So you all understood
Now,
this
one
story?
more very short story. This will only take a minute to tell about Agastya. Once, the big mountains of Himalayas were blocking the skies and the heaven.
Yes.
So they asked the great Rishi Agastya to go and help. As soon as the Rishi arrived, the mountains themselves bowed to him. He told, "Now, my Guru Dakshina for you is that you should bend down. Only when you meet me, you can stand up straight again." Then, after that, then they all bent down. Then he went off. He never came to that spot ever again. And still to this day, the mountains are bending.
Yes. Good. So Agastya Rishi was specifically empowered to humble people, to kill these demons. So he exhibited those powers. But even Gautama was no less. Vishwakarma has a different role to play. Anvi, you have your story?
Yes, I have a short story. This is about. Second. This is the Yaksha. This is from the Kena Upanishad. I don't know how many Upanishads are there. So many.
108.
That's it.
Okay.
Once upon a time, an evil army attacked the gods who lived in the beautiful golden city of heaven. A battle broke out, and after a lot of fighting, it seemed like the evil army was winning. Frantic and panically, all the gods and the leader, Indra, prayed to an all-powerful supreme god called Brahman. None of the gods had ever seen Brahman, but they knew he was the creator and the father of all gods in the heaven, all creatures on earth, and this entire universe. He caused the sun to rise, the rivers to flow, food to grow, gods and men to win or lose. So they prayed to Brahman desperately and the next day, the army of gods won. The evil army retreated, never to be heard from again. The gods were jubilant, very, very happy. We won, they shouted and congratulated each other. We are so brave, they told us. We deserve this victory. Isn't it amazing? In their joy and false pride, the gods forgot the very Brahman who had won them the victory. They didn't even remember to thank him for his grace. The next morning, right in the middle of the city square where the celebration was still going on, there suddenly appeared a dark, horrible-looking yaksha or a supernatural spirit. The gods were upset at the appearance of this ugly creature in the midst of their wonderful celebration. Who is this? They asked each other, but they were too scared to approach the yaksha directly. So the gods approached Agni, the powerful lord of fire, and said, "Oh, great lord of fire, please go and find out who this yaksha is." Okay, agreed Yaksha and approached the Yaksha. But before Agni could say anything, the Yaksha spoke up. "Who are you?" he asked Agni. "I am Agni, also known as Jata Veda, the one who possesses everything." Agni replied very grandly. "And what power do you have?" asked the Yaksha. "I can burn everything on earth," declared Agni triumphantly. The Yaksha smiled and placed a small blade of grass before Agni. "Burn this," he challenged. Agni rushed to the blade of grass with all his strength. He huffed and puffed. He pointed all his fingers and toes at it and focused. He yelled and screamed and used all his powers, but the blade of grass remained lying sweetly on the ground. I cannot do it, said a very dejected Agni, and walked back sadly to the gods. I am not able to find out who the Yaksha is. Then the god approached Vayu, the lord of wind, and said, please find out who this Yaksha is. Okay, agreed Vayu and approached the Yaksha. I am Vayu, also known as Matrishva, the travel of the heavens, said Vayu to impress the Yaksha. And what special power do you have? Asked the Yaksha, unimpressed. I can lift everything on earth with my breath, declared Vayu. The Yaksha smiled and placed another small blade of grass before Agni. Before Vayu, lift this, he challenged. Vayu rushed to the blade of grass with all his strength. He huffed and puffed and blew with all his might. He blew and he blew until he was exhausted. But the blade of grass did not move even a tiny bit. Vayu too slunk away with his tail between his legs and declared to all the gods that he was not able to find who the Yaksha was. Now, baffled and afraid, the gods approached to the leader of gods, Indra, and asked him for help. Don't worry, I will find out who this Yaksha is, declared Indra, and set off to find the Yaksha. On seeing the Yaksha, Indra strode powerfully towards him. But before Indra could even reach him, the Yaksha disappeared before his very eyes. Indra was amazed and frightened. His knees shook in fear. He knew this was a special being indeed. And suddenly, in the place where the Yaksha had been a moment ago, there appeared a beautiful woman with golden skin, clothes, and jewels. Indra recognized this beautiful woman as Uma, the daughter of the great Himalayan mountain. He asked Uma, can you please tell me who's the Yaksha? Did you not recognize him? That was Brahman himself. He's the supreme one. And it is because of him that gods won the great victory yesterday. On hearing this, Indra immediately understood. He bowed his head in shame and repentance and begged forgiveness from Brahman. And so did all the other proud gods. You are indeed the greatest, the supreme one. We are so sorry we forgot that in our false pride. They said, do not worry, said Brahman to the repentant gods. Your understanding is all I need. Then he blessed him all and disappeared. The lesson learned are, what is pride? Is too much pride good? What do our scriptures teach us about it? And what is power? Who is more powerful? The big and boastful person or the quiet one who does good for others with his power?
Okay, that was your short story.
Yeah, that was a long story.
So one more important lesson that we learn here is that all the abilities, all the intelligence, and whatever we are able to accomplish in life is by the grace of the Lord. And we should never forget it. Whenever we are successful, achieve what we want to, we should always remember it's been possible by the grace of God. Otherwise, like these devas, they were humbled by the Lord. We will also be forced to become humble. So it's better that we always remain humble and give the credit to God always. It's by His grace. I've been able to do this. I have this intelligence, ability, whatever blessings I have is by the Lord's grace. Always keep thanking Him. Okay, so today's session you all understood, but the avatar. So what is an avatar? There are countless avatars, the source of all avatars. There are Vishnus in each universe. It's the basics and in charge of the maintenance. And we saw the creation part. And somebody was asking about Lord Shiva, right? Why is he present in this world if